Hello, welcome to another plan with me. This week I'm memory planning July 21st to the 27th, and I'm using this kit from the Prairie Planner called Heatwave. I'm also using leftover foil from Scribble Prints Co. This is a mixture of like sparkly blue and just not sparkly blue. I don't know what the name of it would be, like matte blue. Anyways, I tried to find the right how to explain this. I wanted to find the shades that were the same because there's different shades of blue in her foil bundles, so I think these ones are pretty similar. Similar enough that I can't really tell, but I don't have the best eyesight, so I could be way off. Anyways, this week was my niece's birthday. Unfortunately, we didn't get to go because she doesn't live near us. Actually, come to think of it, both her families don't really live near us, so yeah, that's unfortunate. But I still wanted to use a fun kit for her week. And I mean, it was hot this week, like every other week. We wanted to go to the lake, but unfortunately, it was too smoky. There's been a ton of forest fires lately. Or what am I saying lately? There's been a ton of forest fires this summer, I should be saying. Um, so I know that two of the lakes were even closed because of it, because the fires were getting pretty close to them. Thankfully, they didn't reach all the lakes, but I think one of them did. I can't even remember. This was weeks ago, around the same time that my parents were evacuated. Anyways, that's rambling. I'm just going on and on about why we can't go to the lake and why I'm sad about it. But I am going to go to my parents' place next week, and they do live by the lake, so I'll finally get to be by water. I don't know what it is, but if you grow up near water, it's almost like you need to be back just to feel like yourself again. I don't know, that probably makes no sense, but I miss the lake, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Living in the city, you don't get to be by the lake unless you drive there. And the closest one to us is about a 30-minute drive, which is not too bad, I know, but it's not like when I grew up. Growing up with my parents, you open the back door, there's the lake. And I miss that. But I do like living in the city too because for one, I love my Tim Hortons. Wow, this is a rambling introduction. That's crazy. I'm talking about nothing important. I apologize. um just rambling. So, anything new this week? The only thing different this week from other weeks is that I started a new show called 3%. I really love dystopian movies and shows. Not so much books, though. I don't know why. But yeah, 3% is kind of a dystopian film, and I'm really into it. I've just finished the first season, actually, so I'm going to be starting season 2 pretty soon. And it's just about this new world where there's only two places that people live. There's a place called the inland and a place called the offshore, and only 3% of people make it to go live on the offshore, which is like a very glamorous place to live. Everyone else lives in the inland and they're just trying to survive, I guess, and it's really rough there. That's pretty much the gist of it. And I don't really know what season 2 is going to really look like, but I'm enjoying it anyway. Yeah, so I am going to play some music until the day by day because I forgot how long it takes for these plan with me's when there's a foil bundle involved. So I will be back. And I'm back. There's no fade out of that music. It's just a complete cut and dry. Here we go. We're starting the day by day. On Monday, the first thing I'm marking is that I was up early and I'm using the alarm clock that came with the foil bundle. And then marking that I did a workout, I'm using these dumbbell stickers from the kit as well as a workout sticker from the foil bundle. And then to mark that I pulled stickers, I'm using the sticker stack that came with a kit. And then I did some reading and I'm using the book that came with the kit. And then in the afternoon, we went to go try the new McDonald's McFlurry Biscoff, I think it's called. And I'm using the sticker from Once More with Love. That ice cream McFlurry, whatever, was only there for like a month. It's already gone. We tried to go have it again 2 days ago and it was already not there. Anyways, moving on. After that, I watched 3%. So I'm using this TV icon from the foil bundle. And then I played games and I'm using this girl. I don't remember where she's from, just to mark that. And then moving on to Tuesday, I was up early again. So I'm using the alarm clock that came with the kit. And then marking that I went to go drop off my vehicle, I'm using this car sticker that is from a foil bundle. The more I'm looking at this is actually the shape of our vehicle. It's not that small. It's a little bit longer, but that's the shape of it. It's funny. So yeah, I went to go drop it off because I need to get my windshield replaced from when we got hit with a rock. And I'm marking a workout using this person running from the foil bundle and the workout script from a foil bundle. And then I took a nap. I napped, not right after my workout. That would be kind of crazy. I'm using the bed sticker that came with the kit. And then I watched 3%. So I'm using a TV icon that came with the kit. And then I'm using the last of this sticker that I have of this girl reading to mark that I read. I don't know which, oh my gosh, I can't say that. Which shop that's from. Slow down, Jen. And then marking that I played games, I'm using this girl from Beneva Creations to mark gaming out. I don't know what game I was playing this week. And then on to Wednesday, the first thing I marked is that my husband had an appointment, so I'm using the stethoscope from the foil bundle. And then he had to get blood work done, so I'm using this, I think this one's from Once More with Love, needle to mark that he had to get his blood work done too. He is not like sick or anything. He just has to do all these medical stuff because he's in the process of immigrating to Canada, so he has to do all these things. It's kind of wild. Anyways, after that, we went to go have lunch at Humpty's. So I'm using that burger sticker from the foil bundle. We did a small grocery run using that $sign from the foil bundle. And then he had to go do his x-ray. So that was the last thing of the day. And I didn't have any x-ray type stickers. So I'm just using that star sticker from the foil bundle. And then we played games and I'm using another Beneva Creations girl to mark that. And then I worked out. So I'm using this person running icon to mark that I did a workout. Moving on to Thursday, I was up early again, so I'm using another alarm clock from another leftover foil bundle. And then I played the game Clue. So I'm using this controller sticker from 3 Years Apart to mark that. And then I went to the library this day, so I'm using this book stack from the Prairie Planner. And then to mark that, I went to the city. When I say that I went to the city, even though I live in a city, I'm talking about the bigger city of our province, where they have the airport, for example, and all the bigger stuff. Anyways, marking that we went to this city, I'm using this car icon from a leftover foil bundle. And then my friend took me to a place called Manos to go eat. It was pretty good, using this spoon and fork sticker from one of the leftover foil bundles. And then using this airplane icon, I'm marking that I went to go drop her off at the airport because that was the whole point of us going to the city is I had to drop her off. And then before I came home, I went to stop at Crumble to grab some cookies because we don't have a Crumble in our city. So, and then moving on to Friday, first thing I'm marking is that I did a workout. So I'm using the shoe from the kit and a workout from one of the leftover bundles. And then I did a coffee run. So I'm using a leftover. I keep saying leftover. That's probably annoying, but I'm using a foil. It looks like a cappuccino or something, frappuccino maybe, just to mark that I went on a coffee run. I didn't actually go to Starbucks, but I mean, I had the sticker. I don't go to Starbucks that much, but I wanted to use the sticker. Anyways, just marking that it was a super lazy day. I'm using another Beneva Creations girl to mark that. She's just sitting on the couch, being lazy, looking cute. Then I marked that I played Clue. So I'm glad I found these. I think they're from Once More with Love. I think they're meant to mark like crime documentaries or crime shows or whatever because it's got the question mark and what do you call that, magnifying glass. So it worked perfectly for this game. And then I'm marking cuddle time using these fox and cactus cats to mark that. And then moving on to Saturday, I did a workout. So I'm using this girl from a leftover Happy Planner book. And then the steak sticker from Happy Die I'm using to mark that we had a steak lunch for a fundraiser for my late cousin's headstone. And then marking that we went to nope, not Michael's, Walmart. I'm using this Once More with Love Walmart bag. I think it's Once More with Love. It actually might be Coffee Monsters Co. I get those mixed up and I'm trying not to. Then marking that we went home, I'm using another foil sticker. This one's the house to mark that we went back home, and then using another one of those stickers to mark Clue. And then when I got home, we just were super lazy. So I'm using another Beneva Creations girl to mark that I was just lazy when I got home because traveling makes me lazy. I just get tired. I'm getting old, so I can't. Whenever I travel, when I say travel, we had to drive 2 hours this day to go to this fundraiser, and then I had to drive the 2 hours back. So after that, I feel like I need to recuperate or whatever. Anyways, moving on to Sunday, this was my niece's birthday, so I'm using this birthday cake to mark that. And then after that, me and my aunt did go to bingo, and this might be the second last bingo sticker that I have, and I don't know what I'm going to do after they're all gone. But after that, I went to Tim Hortons, and I'm using this coffee cup that came with the kit. And then I played more Clue, so I'm using another one of those TVs with the question mark. And then finally, just marking that I played Apex with one of my friends that I hadn't played with for so long. I literally didn't know where he was. I even told him, like, I thought you died. Like, I haven't seen you in years. Anyways, just marking that we played together. It was a lot of fun. And that was my week. Hope you have a good week. Thanks for watching.